Hola estudiantes! Today's video is on the differences between ser and estar. Now you may have wondered at some point, why are there two verbs in Spanish to mean the same thing? And that's what's interesting as you start to learn other languages, is that they all have their unique differences. For example, how would you explain to someone who's learning English why you look something up in the dictionary when chances are you're going to be looking down at the book? Why? And I encourage you to foster that sense of curiosity as you learn other languages so that you're using your energy to embrace the language and not to resist it. So, with all that said and done, let's learn about the differences between ser and estar so that you can feel confident when you use these verbs and do well on that next quiz. Here we go. So the first question is, what do ser and estar mean? Why are they taught together in the same lesson plan so frequently in traditional textbooks? Well, it's because they both mean to be. And as the great William Shakespeare once wrote in Hamlet, to be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. In this lesson, to be ser or to be estar, that is the question. How do you conjugate these two verbs? Ser in the present tense is soy, eres, es, somos, sois, son. And it's important to include the subject pronouns when you conjugate. So let's take a closer look at this. Yo soy. Anytime I, yo, in the subject of a sentence, the conjugation will be soy. Tú, you, tú eres, you are. Él, ella, usted, es, he, she, you formal. I want you to also notice that this left side of the chart are all singular subjects. Now let's move to the right side. Nosotros, nosotras somos. We are. Vosotros, vosotras sois. You all are. This is the only form used in Spain for you plural. And finally, ellos, ellas, ustedes son. They, all male or mixed gender. Ellas, all female. They, or ustedes, you, in all other Spanish-speaking countries. So notice now the right side of the chart. These are all situations where the subject is plural. Also, if you were to go across the top row, this is the first person. I am, we are. Across the second row, second person. Tú eres, you are. Vosotros, vosotras sois, you all are. And the third row, él, ella, usted es, or ellos, ellas son, he or she is, or they are. That's the third person. And then usted and ustedes is included in this conjugation box as an exception. Now let's look at estar. Here are the conjugations. Yo estoy, tú estás, él, ella, usted está. Nosotros, nosotras estamos. Vosotros, vosotras estáis. Y por fin, ellos, ellas, ustedes están. Now notice I have highlighted the A's in the bottom four conjugations to point out that they have accent marks. Next question, when to use ser and when to use estar? This is the burning question, isn't it? And so now that you know what they both mean and how to conjugate them, we've reached this point. I find that this acronym, Toto Loco, which means everything is crazy, to be the most helpful in discerning the differences between ser and estar. I have adapted it over the years to create my own acronyms that I feel have been able to fill in the gaps so that in any circumstance where you're wondering which form of to be it is, you will have an answer to it from Toto Loco. Let's take a closer look. For ser is todo. The first T can stand for time. When you're telling time, we are going to use ser. Now notice my first example. Es la una. Es is a form of ser, and it's singular in this case, the singular third person, because the number one is a singular number. Es la una. In all other cases, when dealing with numbers and telling time, you're going to use son, the plural option. Son las dos. Son las tres. The third example I chose for time is the word for noon. Now, noon is a singular noun, and so you're going to use es again. Es mediodía. Dia is masculine, and that's why it's medio, meaning half day, noon, or midday. The other T, and this is one that I've created myself, is for takes place, where events take place. If you find yourself talking about a game taking place in Barcelona or a concert taking place in San Francisco, you are going to use the verb ser. It's not going to be location. It's an event taking place. The T in todo. Let's take a look at a couple examples. El concierto es en Miami. The concert takes place or is in Miami. El partido de fútbol es en Buenos Aires. The soccer game is or takes place in Buenos Aires. Origin. Now, key word for origin is de, because that is the form of possession from or of. So let's take a look at some of these examples. ¿De dónde eres? Where are you from? Notice I have eres underlined. That is the to form of ser. Where are you from? Soy de Estados Unidos. I am from the United States. Somos de Guadalajara, Mexico. We are from Guadalajara, Mexico. The objects can also have origin. Let's take a look at these next two examples. Mis zapatos son de Barcelona. My shoes are from Barcelona, meaning I bought them there. They were made there. Tu anillo es de oro. Your ring is made of gold. Again, all of these examples have the word de in them to indicate origin. D, date or description. For date, you could do days of the week or the actual date itself. Hoy es martes, today is Tuesday. 2 de julio, July 2nd. And for description, mi hermano es cómico. My brother is funny. Tú eres mi mejor amiga. You are my best friend. Anytime you're describing people, places, or things using common adjectives, that is the D in todo for using ser. All right, you've made it this far. The last letter of todo, occupation. Here are some examples. Mi padre es ingeniero. Mis amigos son músicos. Tú eres salvavidas y yo soy maestra de español. My dad is an engineer. Okay, that's the third person singular conjugation es. The second sentence, mis amigos son músicos. Because my subject is my friends, that is plural third person, I'm going to use son. Tú eres salvavidas. You are a lifeguard. Eres is the correct conjugation to go with the you informal. And finally, soy maestra. Now notice the yo is omitted because soy is the only conjugation for the yo form. So it is common not to say or write yo when speaking or writing in Spanish. Soy maestra de español. I am a Spanish teacher. All right, check out the check marks. Feels good. We got through ser, time takes place, O, origin, D, date description, and final O, occupation. Let's take a look at estar. Okay, loco. Now the good news is lo is grouped together and co is grouped together. So we're only going to look at two categories here. Location of people, places, or things. I have an example for each. For people, ¿dónde están los estudiantes? Where are the students? In questions in Spanish, the subject, notice, is after the verb. So look towards estudiantes to know which conjugation to use. La respuesta or the answer, están en la cafetería. How about for place? México está cerca de los Estados Unidos. Mexico is close to the United States. Mexico as third person singular, using está as your correct conjugation. And for things, oh, the question everyone wants to know. ¿Dónde está el baño? Where is the bathroom or where is the restroom? Mis libros están encima de la mesa. My books are on top of the table. Condition. Now, condition I find to be a very ambiguous word, and so I have over the years broken it down into further categories. I hope this helps. So what are conditions? Well, they're the current state of an emotion, of someone's health, of an object in a particular moment. In particular, food is often something we talk about on the day-to-day basis. So I like to give examples of real-life situations. So anytime you talk about food, whether something you're eating is hot or cold or spicy or bland, that is the condition of that food. And then finally, the action of a person. I've captured that by the acronym PEPE, like Pepe Le Pew, to stand for present progressive, past progressive, or past participle. Try saying that little line of alliteration 3 times fast. Alliteration when the first letter is the same sound over and over. Condition. Let's first look at the current state of emotion, health, or food in a particular moment. Here are my 3 examples. Estoy feliz como una lombriz. I am happy as an earthworm. Debatable whether that makes sense or not, but it does rhyme. Estoy feliz como una lombriz. That is an emotion. Let's look at health. Desafortunadamente mi hija está enferma hoy. Unfortunately, my daughter is sick today. Health, using a star. And finally, food in a particular moment. La sopa no está caliente. The soup's not hot. Pepe Le Pew is a character from Looney Tunes. He's a skunk with a big heart. So let's take a look at Pepe. Present progressive is what someone is doing in the moment. Estoy enseñando Toto Loco. I am teaching Toto Loco. Notice I use a star with that verb form. Past progressive. Ayer estaba jugando al basketball. Yesterday I was playing. That still is a form of a star. Past participle. Tú estás sentado en tu escritorio. That means you are seated at your desk. Or because past participles here are acting as adjectives, if you identify as female, you would use mi amiga está sentada a mi lado. My friend is seated at my side or next to me. I wanted to put an asterisk here to point out that the opposite of to be seated is to be by foot. Literally to be by foot or of foot. Tú estás de pie. Tú estás de pie is to be standing. And look, we got through a star. Lo for location, co for condition, subcategories, current state of emotion, health, action, food in a particular moment, and Pepe, present, past progressive, or past participle. All right, now for the quick recap. You got this. Let's take this to the whiteboard. Question number 1. What do SER and ESTAR mean? To be. Question number 2, how do you conjugate SER and ESTAR? Remembering our conjugation boxes. Go ahead and conjugate with me if you haven't taken notes yet. Soy, eres, es. Somos, sois, son. For ser, ahora, estar. Estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis, están. Muy bien. Final question. When do you use SER or ESTAR? What comes to mind? How would you answer that question? When would you use SER or ESTAR? Toto Loco. Toto would be when we use SER. Loco, when we would use estar, and then recalling what each letter stands for, time or takes place. An example of each. For time, son las dos. It's 2 o'clock. An example for takes place, el partido es en el centro. El partido es en el centro. The game is downtown. Takes place. The game takes place downtown. O. What's one of the O's? Origin. Remembering the keyword day, of. For a person, tú eres de Bolivia. You are from Bolivia. Eres, a form of ser, keyword de. Mi libro es de España. My book is from Spain. Good. Description or date. When you describe someone's innate characteristics, it's ser. An example would be something like, mi padre es alto. My dad is tall. The date, hoy es lunes. Today's Monday, and you could have the actual date itself. El 12 de septiembre. The other O, and there's no particular order that these need to come in, occupation, what someone does for a living, is again ser. So, one example would be something like, yo soy maestra. I am a teacher. Moving down to estar, loco. Lo standing for location, where a person or object is in a certain moment. Mi bolígrafo está en mi mano. My pen is in my hand. That is the location of the pen, and so I use estar. Subcategories of condition include things like health. Está enfermo. If someone's sick, está enfermo. Any emotions. Estoy feliz. Current state of soup, for example, would be if something's hot or cold. La sopa está caliente. Current state is a common one for your everyday conversation. And then present progressive. Estoy escribiendo, which is what I am doing at the moment. I'm writing. Estoy escribiendo. Or the example we used earlier, if you can remember, how do you say I am seated? Estoy, in my case, sentada. Estoy sentada. And the opposite being estoy de pie. All right. Well done. You made it this far. And there it is, the recap of SER and ESTAR. Aquí está mi perro Salchicha. Su apodo es Sachi. Sachi está en mi casa ahora. ¿Está bailando? No. Sachi está durmiendo. ¿Es joven? No. Sachi es viejo porque tiene 15 años. Es un buen perro.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you found this video useful. Hasta luego.